they're heroes. I do think New Zealand faces a challenge, and the School of Physical Education here at the University of Otago is hosting a symposium about a year this time on what is the future of small nations in sport. When we look at the investments of countries like China and Russia and the U.S., Brazil, and many others, how can the countries that have populations under 10 million compete over the next 50 years?
And we've been analysing that in many ways for quite some time, and celebrating our massive success in Beijing medals-wise historically, because it is getting so much harder to be a small country and competitive with all these other nations. The other matter of interest, we talk specifically about rugby. You were saying, look, let's all celebrate the success, but what is happening to the national game here? And can we bring that question back as well about the link between grassroots and the elite levels, and whether people still have the same sense of connection that they might have once had, where anyone could be an All Black, you know, the amateur era. Anyone could make good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the All Blacks are a very successful team, and I think acknowledged as one of, if not the most successful team in any sport in history. And I think people in New Zealand are sometimes quite critical. Any loss is really unacceptable, but they have quite an admirable quality. Whether people at the grassroots level are able to sustain their participation and support, but that's something following every sport in New Zealand and in many countries. The volunteer base is eroding simply because people are busier. Kids are picking different sports now. They like to try different things. It's becoming quite specialized. In a sport like rugby, we have rugby academies. So top athletes are being recruited and identified very early and channeled into specific sports. That has its positive things in terms of performance sometimes, but it can also mean that athletes themselves get quite burnt out earlier in their career.
You also ask, are the All Blacks ours, or the possession of global corporates and obsessive sponsors? The